Good tidings, people with good taste. Welcome to the first episode of the fucking Tatariakashi arc. Because here in the Sotsu Log, we haven't even made a single episode on the Tatariakashi arc. Because the first 3 episodes of this 5 episode arc had fucking nothing to talk about, and then I guess these last two had something. I guess. So anyway, I'm Des, and I am here with.
Anonymous.
Wow,
Yensid, and no one else left, just 3 of us this episode.
true.
I don't blame them, to be honest, considering the quality of Sotsu.
Sotsu? Don't you mean go?
Go to!
If you've been wondering where we've been, though, that probably means you don't follow us on Twitter, because whenever we aren't gonna post an episode or whenever we are gonna do some changes in the uploading schedule, we always notify you guys on Twitter. So if you wanna keep up with that, you know what to do now. So Tatariakashi started amazingly well by continuing the trend of the previous 2 arcs and basically being Go all over again,
Yep.
but with Feadrin laughing at nothing at the end.
There was nothing in the first episode.
Yeah, I'll do a quick summary of the episodes, and as we go, we can kind of remind ourselves of what happened, and we can discuss whatever may be there for us to discuss. So, the first arc of Tatariakashi is episode 7. So it starts with Feadrin and Hanyu. No, wait, what? It starts with Satoko and Feadrin on the meta world. And in the previous Sotsu Log episode, we mentioned, like, the previous log episode was even titled the legal implications of looping, because we even discussed, like, how does it work? Does Satoko have to die before Rika does, so that they go to the same fragment? And well, Feadorin confirmed it on the episode right after. Yes, indeed, that is what has to happen. After this, we see Rika and Hanyu also having a conversation on the meta world. And finally, Sotsu gives Rika some time, because Sotsu repeats so much shit that could instead be used to, like, show Rika's monologues or show Satoko's monologues, so that they become a bit more empathetic, and so that we can maybe sympathize with them a bit more. But it doesn't, except for this one scene. So congratulations, Sotsu. You had one scene well thought out. Then Rika goes back to the game board out of nowhere, because in the original, every time we saw this shift between the meta world into the game board, it was when Rika was hit by something on the head in the game board. Like, for example, when Matsuri Bayashi starts, I think it's Matsuri Bayashi. If it's not Matsuri Bayashi, it's Minagoroshi. It starts with Rika having been on a club activity and having fallen down and hit her head. And that's how she starts that loop. And in Saikoroshi, for example, she's hit in the head with a baseball ball. So I don't understand why she just spawned at the top of the shrine staircase. But that happened. And then she had a conversation with Satoko, who keeps gaslighting her.
Girl boss.
No. Then we see the baseball scene, which was severely cut down in Tatari Damashi, and for some reason was longer in Tatariakashi, but I digress. Then we get the barbecue scene, which is the first good slice of life scene in fucking Higurashi Go/Sotsu since the first episode. I think it was actually charming. I don't know if you guys remember that. I don't know if Anon even watched that scene.
No, I watched that episode.
Oh, you did? Yeah, I found that interaction funny.
Okay, yeah, sure, it was a good interaction, but I'm just so sick of Slice of, like, we're just so deep into the answer arcs, I'm like, please, go away, Slice of Life.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it's just white noise.
Can we even call Sotsu answer arcs?
No,
though?
we can't call Sotsu answer arcs, you're right.
It isn't even answer arcs, it's just answered arcs.
Answer
Yeah, it's like, hey, the stuff we already pretty much knew, except we're gonna pull some cheap crap that there was no way of knowing, and that just changes everything, but we'll get to that later.
I don't understand what Feadrin likes so much about this show.
Dude,
She's always laughing her ass off. At what? What
Yeah,
is...
The main inconsistency there with her reacting to that is that she's watching Sotsu alone.
yeah.
Like, we go through that experience, but that's because we're watching it in a Discord call. She really needs some witches to be in a Discord call with her for her reactions to make sense.
Okay, about that, Yancy, there's actually this throwaway line in one of the episodes where Featherin says, quote, "It will certainly be a sight to stave off our boredom." So maybe she does have some witch friends, we just don't see them. I remember at the time you said it was probably referring to us, the audience. Do you still stand by that, Yancy?
I don't even remember saying that.
Maybe it wasn't you, I don't fucking know, but I remember posting it on the server and someone said like, oh, maybe that's the audience.
We are the witches. Whoa.
Whoa, we are in Sotsu? Holy shit,
Whoa.
Thank you so much, Ryukishi, best writer.
We're the main antagonist of Sotsu.
Foggers. I think I still stand by my Bern Game Master theory. I'm gonna bet that's Bern somehow that she's referring to.
She has no concept of a good anime.
True.
She probably gave it a 10 on my anime list.
So what happens next? Oh, and then at the end of that episode, Satoko moves in with wholesome Uncle Teppei into Hiramizawa, telling him the whole village is bullying her, which is ironic because that's actually true on the original anime, but not here.
Yeah, really uneventful episode.
So then episode 8 starts, Satoko does her whole, oh no, I'm depressed and I'm also at school. And then Keiichi starts acting like he does in Minagoroshi, wanting to save Satoko and all of that. And then, after leaving school, Satoko just rolls on the ground in a very stupidly funny scene. Then comes home, Teppei sees her all dirty and is like, who the fuck did this to you, Satoko? I'm gonna punch that person's face in. And Satoko obviously tells him, it's the whole village, uncle. And then that will lead to an interesting interaction with Teppei and Oishi later on the episode list. So
the entire village threw her to the ground.
Okay, I had a thought written down, which was that I think it's really interesting how this arc is essentially the same thing as the original, pretty much. Teppei coming back, Satoko feeling sad, Teppei screaming at villagers, Teppei screaming at Chie when she goes to their place to see what's going on with Satoko. It's pretty much the same, except Teppei really isn't in the wrong here. But what the village sees, it's still the same. What Keiichi sees is still the same. So I have to give Sotsu a point for that, because that's actually an ironic and interesting change of events.
I have to give Sotsu a minus point to bring it back into balance for just making my throwaway joke the actual answer.
I would have to give it a plus exactly for that.
I think you could probably go in the old podcast episodes. I think I made like some jokes in the episodes like, oh, Teppei's the real hero or something like.
It's possible. Like, we do know you wrote that down on the server. But it's also possible we said that on an episode, to be honest.
Yeah, there's just a pinned message in our Discord server from Anonymous from fucking December of 2020 saying, plot twist, Teppei is just a loving, if not crass uncle this arc. And Satoko did have a cold. The only wrong part about that was that Satoko had a cold.
Fuck Satoko 2020. Anyway, so she vomits, and then Featherin finds this the funniest shit ever, and calls her a witch, and the fandom comes.
Whoa!
Collectively.
Whoa, this is just like Umineko!
Like, this is so mind-blowing, because we've known Satoko is a witch since Go. What are these people coming about?
Why didn't Featherin just, like, wait 30 years so that YouTube gets invented so she can just watch those weird child abuse prank videos? Because, like, that seems like what she's looking for, but with way more entertainment if she's...
Dude.
Finds it so hilarious to see Satoko just puking
True.
in the classroom.
Featherin probably finds Pickle Rick to be the height of humor. She definitely watches Rick and Morty.
Yeah, why doesn't she just fucking wait 30 to 40 years?
Because she needs to entertain herself with something up until Best Shockers comes out, you know?
I mean, that second episode was pretty uneventful too. The second episode, which I totally watched all of.
So, episode 9 starts with Teppei almost burning the house down, being a 10 out of 10 uncle and trying to cook something for her wholesome Sadoko.
Keiichi reference.
Yo. So this is the payoff for Sadoko telling Teppei that the whole village was cornering her, because Teppei goes up to Oishi, crouches on the ground and begs him to protect Satoko. And it's just the weirdest thing to witness, but Oishi is like, I've arrested this man several times, but he's begging me to protect Sadako now. I guess I will comply. And then he is invited into the house of this person who he arrested multiple times. The house of someone who is known for causing trouble in the neighborhood, and eats the food that they give him. So they make him food and he eats it. And he also leaves his one-man backup several minutes away from the house, and then eats their food, falls asleep, wakes up in their house, doesn't find it suspicious, leaves, pisses on the shrine gate, and refuses to elaborate.
Like, he gets fucking drugged by that, and immediately afterwards is like, my neck is itchy. But anyways, thank for the food.
Going Sotsu is just only possible by the characters being too dumb to suspect anything is off.
It is, and it makes no fucking sense because one of the symptoms of the fucking syndrome is suspicion. But Oishi is anything but suspicious. He's just like, I guess I just dozed off for a little bit.
Whoa, you don't understand. Satsuko's special needle has the suspicion symptom taken out of it.
Like, okay, what if instead of injecting Oishi with Hinamizawa syndrome, she just made him demented, and he's just a demented old man now?
Like, the characterization of him with Hinamizawa syndrome is so fucking off, in the fact that he doesn't seem, like, suspicious or paranoid at all. He just, like, oh, I'm getting injected, alright, I wanna be evil. Let's be evil.
Yeah, and also that Satsuko's just his best friend.
And then Oishi also spreads trash around their house for some reason. What in the syndrome makes him do that? He's just demented. Like, why is he spreading trash all around their house? That makes no sense. Because, like, you could think that, oh, maybe he was just trying to build evidence that the village is against them in a way, in a messed up way, to confirm his theory that the whole village is in on the curse. But then, at the same time, he would know that evidence is false. So what does that even accomplish?
Yeah, I don't know. Because at least when he was, like, peeing on the shrine and stuff, he's like, oh my god, Tepe, you guys totally shouldn't all gang up and kill him. But, like, I don't know.
It's weird to me that we saw Oishi piss on the shrine gate. I never thought Sotsu would show us something like that, but here we are.
Ryukishi pee fetish.
First Rika poopy water, now this.
Oishi's Hinamizawa virus symptoms or characterization is pretty bad. I don't think it's well written because every other time Hinamizawa syndrome has been into play, there's been, like, a consistent, like, line of logic, just a very paranoid and fucked up one.
Mm-hmm.
But it feels like it's very lacking in Oishi, where it's just like, okay, let him do the things that you would assume Tepe to do.
Yeah,
it's once again a character not being a character and just being a plot device.
I think my problem with Sotsu, and I've brought this up a few times before, my problem with Ghost Sotsu is that it seems like it's written in such a way to where it's just like, oh, remember the things that happened in the original Higurashi? Imagine that, but, like, the opposite of what you would expect. Like, it's not Tepe this time, it's Oishi.
But that would have been fine if it made sense in the story, but it doesn't, because Oishi just... Why is Oishi suffering from something completely different from the syndrome? And why is he so dumb?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think, like, a massive problem with this mystery is that most mysteries generally require, like, at least a little bit of incompetence from some character to not notice a thing for it to work. But you have to really fucking stretch that when your culprit is a child.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean?
Satoko isn't really capable of doing that much physically.
Yeah.
So you have to make people around her pretty stupid or weak for her plans to actually work. Like, yeah, she just injected Mion with no...
No, she the thing is she doesn't even need to. Like, what is the need for Oishi to be in this arc? She could have done everything with Teppei.
What,
She could have invited Keiichi in and told Teppei, look, this is the guy who's been beating the shit out of me. Kill him, Teppei, and he would.
You know exactly what the need for Teppei was. Like you said, he's a plot device. The writers were like, oh my god, let's have all these new people have Hinamizawa syndrome that have never had it before, because that's gonna mess up Rika. And so we got like Mion, we got Oishi, and then we got the whole like montage of people because Satoko's being wacky.
Okay, I'm not going to get into my burn coverage theory, but I think all of those make sense. But my problem with Oishi L5 is that they built up Teppei to be the one to kill the people in this arc, right? Because there is an actual reason for Teppei to kill them. But then in the end it's Oishi, which you had a perfectly good character to kill someone. Why make Oishi a plot device? You built this character to do this.
Yeah, I thought it could have been interesting if there wasn't even, like, the dumb syringe this arc, and Satoko just manipulated Teppei into, like, working for her. But instead, we have the Deus Ex Machina that is, oh my god, Satoko has this magical syringe that can make anyone the antagonist. I mean, I know it exists. I know it's like an actual thing.
I don't think it's a Deus Ex Machina. It's only a Deus Ex Machina because Sotsu is stupid.
It's already an established rule of the universe that you would expect by this point in the story, so I don't think it's a Deus Ex Machina.
The part of it is that, like, just that Satoko has it at all. I'm not saying, like, this, because of course the syringe was in the original, but just that this child gains access to the syringe and is just able to inject whoever, and no one ever notices.
That's what I was gonna say. It's only an overpowered card that she has because Sotsu is stupid. And because if you think about this in any other setting, injecting someone is hard as shit. Like, Satoko would not have been able, like, to inject Mion if not because of her fucking snaps. Like, the real Deus Ex Machina here, quote unquote, isn't the syringe, it's the fucking snaps that she soft resetted until she was able to insert the needle into Mion's butt in the perfect cell spacement that she wouldn't feel it somehow.
Yeah, that's true. And we've discussed this extensively on an earlier episode, I remember. But just that Satoko was so easily willing to kill herself, and just over and over again, snap, 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 snap. Like, once again, we know looping is something established here, but I hate seeing it used this way. It's like me when I play Skyrim, and I'm like, oh, you know what's gonna be funny? Let me save real quickly and slaughter this whole town.
Oh wait, my mystery is very badly written where there's too many coincidences and things that would be very hard to execute. I know, Satoko's tool assisted.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so moving on in the episode, we get to the episode where we start getting cracks all over, which is the episode from 2 weeks ago. And then the child welfare center people come into Satoko's house, but they don't eat her food because they aren't as dumb as Oishi, apparently. I still can't get over that, but...
Which, might I say, Oishi is already, like, even without the syndrome, he's pretty suspicious of all the villagers. So, like, it's so weird how he even... just like, oh, Teppei is my new bestie because he begged for my help.
No, I think it would make sense. I think it would make sense for Oishi to ally with Teppei against the whole village, because Oishi already suspects the whole village. What I don't think it makes sense is for him to go to doze off in their house upon eating their food and waking up sometime later and feeling itchy and not feeling suspicious, even though he just got fucking injected with the syndrome of all things, which makes you extra suspicious.
You see, the syndrome, Satoko is just able to use the needle. She creates whatever symptom she wants because she's a witch, and whatever's convenient for the plot happens.
Ah, I see. So she instead injected Oishi with bladder problems, and he couldn't contain it.
Yes.
That's why he pissed on the shrine gate.
Wouldn't it have fucking made more sense for them to, like, do that scene at, like, Angel Mort where Satoko would fuck up with the food so he wouldn't, like, assume, oh, I'm in their place eating their food.
Yeah, Yeah, like there's so many other ways this could have gone about. Like Satoko could have even, I don't know, when Oishi was at their place, she could have like with her looping power, she could have tried to snap the cigarettes away from him and then if he noticed, she would just snap and then cover the cigarettes all over with the syndrome juice and then put them back in. Wouldn't that been easier? Like
The syndrome juice, I hate that is vocabulary in the Sotsu world.
it is. I do you think it is?
I don't know if the syringe juice would have been able to make like a ricin cigarette that would have perfectly infected him from smoking, but I mean you're inventing the fucking juice yourself, you could think of anything.
Yeah.
I mean, if that happened, then in that case, I probably would have said like, okay, how does the syndrome juice even work? Does it need to be injected into like a blood vein, or can you just slap it on someone?
No,
But you have that same question. You have that same question with what we have, because Oishi ate the food with the syndrome juice.
No, you know what? You know what should have happened? She should have like been like, haha, I gave him Hinamizawa cigarettes. And then it flashbacks to her breaking into the hospital and finding plant-based Hinamizawa syndrome weed.
Now we just need to come up with the Hinamizawa syndrome wave frequency and make all the cicadas emit Hinamizawa syndrome sound waves. So what we have next? Then we have the scene where Satoko is almost shooting Teppei, but then her other side comes in and she has this weird moment where she can't even aim and then cracks all over and then it cracks for good and we are brought back into the meta world where two Satokos are fighting and for some reason most of the fandom did not understand this is just a fucking metaphor for Satoko's inner conflict. Like,
Wait, what? Did they actually not? Wait, what did the fandom think was going on there?
I don't fucking know. I think some of them thought that like, oh no, a new Satoko. Oh shit, we have two Satokos now. Like, no, just like when you say, oh, half of me thinks this and half of me thinks that, it's the same fucking shit. Half of Satoko wants to go on with this, but half of Satoko is already regretting it and wants to go back. Like, it's not that hard to understand when they cry fandom. Like, shut the fuck up.
Still a pretty hilarious scene, though.
Okay, the thing is, I honestly believe that the writing is bad enough that the explanation really is that there is just the evil side of Satoko that is just a separate person inside of her, so that the good Satoko doesn't have to take any fucking responsibility for all this terrible shit she's done.
No.
Yeah, it's just evil witch, mama. Anyway, yes, we need to get the fans to be like Satoko did nothing wrong, so we need another Satoko to take all the blame. Yes, indeed. And also more merch, because now we can sell merch of good Satoko and bad Satoko. Tune up next week for good Rika and bad Rika.
That scene was so annoying to me, because it's like, Satoko's been this crass villain for so long, but it's like, oh no, you don't understand. She actually feels torn up about torturing everyone through all these loops. That's not how you write a good villain.
Yeah, why the fuck is this the turning point of, I don't want to kill my abusive uncle now that he's nice?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think it makes sense. I just think it's portrayed no, I think it makes sense and I think it's well portrayed, but I think just the context all around it and everything that has come before just make this whole kind of quote-unquote twist very stupid.
Well, I mean, I genuinely feel like there's no redemption to be had here. Satoko's motivations suck. Rika wants to go to new school, wants to move out of Hinamizawa, so Satoko loses her mind and decides to torture her for all these loops.
Yeah.
Because that's how you write a good villain. Not that, like, say, Takano was even the peak of, like, writing a villain, but at least she was better than whatever we have here.
I think Takano is a pretty good villain. I think she illustrates well how if you just strip it down to the general character that Takano is, it's just like, oh, woman loses grandfather and then dedicates her life to her grandfather's goal. But if you go a bit deeper, Takano is just this person who had no reason for living and then just saw her grandfather as the sole reason for her still being alive and being saved from the hell she came from. And then when he died, she kind of was left with nothing. So she just blindly followed in his footsteps to kind of keep her mind away from having absolutely nothing to do or look forward to in her life. I like her character.
I mean, I like her as a villain, but it's what I'm saying is it's not like it's super deep. Which I mean, villains don't need to be super deep to like make them a good villain. I guess I think back to, of course, like Umineko. I always compare. I always think back to Umineko as I'm watching Sotsu, and I'm like, how did this happen? How is this the When They Cry series now?
Takano's internal conflicts aren't complex, but the VN does a good job of actually fleshing her out to be an empathetic character, even if she isn't really sympathetic in her actions, but they just didn't really do a good job of doing that with Satoko. Like we really didn't get into her internal headspace as well.
Yeah, which is what I was talking about earlier. Like, why repeat Go through so many episodes when you could have dedicated those episodes to exploring Satoko and Rika's characters who are severely undercharacterized?
I don't know, yeah, I genuinely do not understand the point of Sotsu. I want to know why Rukishi or the director or any of the writers thought this was a good idea to just repeat Go, giving us answers to like most of the answers are pretty obvious, or these answers that we would have had no way of knowing about, and then just saying, there's your season 2.
They had to do it, Anon. They had to fill 9 episodes with absolutely nothing so that this episode could have been the 34th. The episode where Satoko fights Satoko. Like, funny twist, haha. 34th episode.
I hate so much that it's the 34th episode. I really do.
Like, it could have not been a coincidence. You know this was intentional.
This is like the storytelling methods of an abusive boyfriend, because like fucking so much nothing had happened that when we saw the very fucking child cartoon conflict of, oh, there's an evil version of me and the good version of me, oh no, we were like, oh my god, a thing happened, holy shit, even though fucking nothing like actually good writing happened, just something occurred.
Yeah.
So we pogged.
Honestly, this episode was a ride. We were screaming all the time, but indeed, as you said, it's not because it's good, it's because something happened after 9 episodes of nothing. Just to finish that episode, so what happened next is that Satoko goes in this monologue and finally says, and I quote, "I love Rika, but they're just very good friends, as Ryukishi himself has said.
They're besties.
They're just besties." Then, at the very end of the episode, Satoko kills Teppei with the same scenes and sequence of when Keiichi kills Teppei. And the episode ended, and we were like, wait, what? So this is a different loop? Like, we were just very confused as to what was happening. And then the truth is revealed next episode, and it's just the stupidest twist ever. So what happened actually was that Satoko killed Teppei, as we saw, and then invited Keiichi over and killed Keiichi, and then invited Oishi over and pretended Keiichi and Teppei had fought. So, what we saw in Tatariakashi in Go was actually Oishi's mental image of the events, which makes no sense. Because, okay, I have to explain why I'm so mad about this.
No, that was such a major cop-out.
It's so stupid because all When They Cry stories have this thing to where you are shown something and later on you find out it's actually not what you saw.
Yeah.
But there's a rule to it. In Higurashi, you are following this character's POV.
Exactly.
And if they go paranoid, they start imagining things. And if you see the same scene from someone else's POV, obviously you're not going to see those things. And then in Umineko, it's all a narrative. You were told by someone it was that thing, and you have to understand it was not that thing. But then, in Sotsu, we are following Keiichi's POV. And then for that scene specifically, we see Oishi's image of the events. For some reason. Why does that happen? That is so stupid.
I think they were trying to imply that Keiichi was imagining this to happen because of him getting hit in the head and then seeing Teppei in his vision. But then I guess he somehow imagined himself beating up Teppei when nothing corresponding to that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, any way you look at it, it's either a major cop-out or it's just stupid.
Like, the fucking Higurashi mystery writing just does not work in visual medium over text.
No, it works with visuals. You could have totally made this scene work if you hadn't shown it in Tatari Damashi. Okay, I'm gonna rebuild the end of Tatari Damashi right now. We never saw Keiichi go into Satoko's room and then being beaten up by Teppei. Instead, we just saw Keiichi waking up at the hospital, but instead of him remembering what happened, he just didn't. And then Rina, when she's telling him what happened on the shrine, she also tells him what supposedly happened on the room when he was beaten up by the baseball bat. Wouldn't that have worked? Like, what was the need for this?
Don't even get us started on Rina's memory, like...
Yeah, I can't fucking believe that they actually went out of their way to make the mystery worse in retrospect, because Rena should have just been somewhere else, and it was already implied that she was ran out,
Yeah.
already shown
Yeah.
that she was ran out of the area, and that's why she survived. But no, she was just there to see this crucial bit of evidence happen, just so she could not mention it. For no reason.
I was with you on that train when we watched the episode and was like, okay, she just forgot to mention this very crucial piece of evidence. But I thought about it, and maybe I think what they were going for is that Rina either was too traumatized to mention it and kind of just didn't want to acknowledge Satoko had shot Oishi and then shot herself. Shot Oishi, shot Rika's corpse and then shot herself. Or she was just like, man, I don't think I need to mention this to Keiichi. Like, all of them are dead. What's the point of bringing this up now? You know? I think that may have been what happened. Because, like, she mentioned Oishi shooting everyone because Oishi isn't Keiichi's friend. But Satoko is. So, like, maybe Rena was like, I don't want to burden Keiichi with this information. Don't you think?
I guess, but it's just like, why did they even add that complication there?
In my opinion, still a major cop-out there, because, yeah, okay, Rina now knows. Oh, I think so, I'll stand by this. Rina now knows that Satoko's the killer, and she's just like, okay.
But it makes sense for her character. Rena has always been like that. She thinks about others, and she thought about Keiichi and was like, I am traumatized by this information. Why would I tell Keiichi about this?
I guess, like, for that, like, it really wouldn't matter if Satoko was behind it all, because she's already dead and they don't have the context of loops. But also just, why did they add that complication to begin with when she should have just been away?
It's not a complication, it's depth. They're giving depth to the actions of Rena. Like, we are always shitting on Sotsu for being so shallow. Why are we also shitting on it for adding depth to the scenes?
Okay, what depth does this give to Rena's actions?
I just described to you what the depth is, Anon. Do you not think what I described gives depth to her?
No, this is your take. Like, Rina already seemed pretty traumatized by, everyone being shot. It seems like...
Honestly, I don't even have enough trust in the show for that to be the interpretation, as much as I just think that they felt like having Rena as just, like, the Japanese TV reaction cam in the corner of just crying at this. Because, like, why would she even go back? Because there was a dangerous mass shooter.
Yeah, she cares about her friends, yeah, but...
And then she was just right next to the mass shooter who did not bother shooting her yet.
No, Jansi, that is super in character for Rena's character, because Rena, she just wants to do anything in her power. Because, like, she was super pissed off at herself for not having done anything when her parents divorced. So, if you go read Tsumi Horoboshi, it's super evident that Rena just is very burdened by the fact that she didn't do nothing when she could have done something. So she went back to the scene because she would feel pretty fucking bad for having fled the scene when she could have done something. But then she rocks up to the place and everybody's already dead. So she's just too shocked to move. And then Satoko comes in and she's just the sassiest fucking person alive. And she's also the criminal in all of this. And then she shoots everyone, including herself. So then it's just like, what? Like, what?
Why hadn't Oishi already shot her?
Well, Oishi, as we know, Oishi is growing demented. Maybe he just didn't see it in the corner.
I agree that yes, it is in character for Rena, but also from the overall plot standpoint, there is zero reason for Rena to be there. It doesn't add anything to Tatariakashi. It doesn't reveal anything crazy. It clearly doesn't add anything to this arc since she just doesn't mention it. It's like Yinsen says, she's there to be the funny Japanese reaction.
Reaction cam girl. Yeah, I mean, I disagree, but I think we've debated this enough.
I think that your interpretation of the characterization makes sense, but it does feel like they just made the mystery make a little less sense for not much reason.
I think it's justified, and I appreciate it, honestly. Which is weird coming from me.
So, Sotsu fan in our podcast, Sotsu fan alert.
Boo! Don't call me a Sotsu fan, Aaron. I will come for you. But anyway, let's shit on Go a bit more. For example, at the start of the previous episode, when Rika comes into Satoko's house and somehow doesn't notice the smell of blood that it's spilled all over one of the rooms in the house.
Yeah.
Also, how did no one hear Teppei getting shot?
That's true, yeah. Because, like, you can hear the cicadas all over because they are surrounded by mountains and the sound echoes all over. How did nobody hear the fucking gunshot?
I mean, Keiichi going in there, and I know in the episode as we were watching the horse camp, so it's probably all dried by now, but I'm pretty sure dried blood still will give off a certain smell, especially if it's literally caking the entire room.
Is it dry? Do you think it would dry that fast?
I don't think it would.
Blood does not dry that fast.
I don't think it would. I'm just saying that's what horse game used to try and explain why Keiichi was being so stupid.
Okay, you wanna know something? I'm pretty sure that when Keiichi is invited into Satoko's house, the fucking roof is still dripping, so it's not possible that that the blood is dry. Like,
the ceiling just fell off. It was dried ceiling blood that chipped off. He hallucinated the blood dripping.
Stop, no.
Keiichi wasn't even going L5 in this arc.
No, but you don't understand. He conveniently went L5 at the very end and thought Teppei was killing him.
Yo, wait. That's true, Anon. So that's what Ryukishi meant when he said natural L5 Oishi, because as we know now, Oishi and Keiichi are the same person because of the twist. So Keiichi naturally developing L5 when he reaches the room is essentially Oishi developing natural L5. We solved Sotsu. They are the same person.
Yeah, wait. No. Hold on. I forgot about that. Did Ryukishi say that Oishi naturally went L5?
Yes.
Oh yeah, wait, here it is. Huh. Why? Why would he just say that and it's not true? I like how in this interview where, like, Ryukishi says Oishi's outbreak is natural, I like how there's also that one where it says when voice actors heard about Go's ending, they didn't believe in it, and I just imagine they're like, oh my god, this sucks.
No, they couldn't believe there was gonna be another season and they would have to voice for it too.
They're just sobbing.
Did they hear about Go's ending or the overall series ending?
So that's a good question, because Go's ending just like...
Ryukishi says to voice actors, okay, so Go's ending is there's a Takano flashback.
Whoa!
Yeah. What else besides the Takano flashback? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. What else? Oh, we also got the dance scene for like the 8th time now.
Oh my god, it doesn't even make sense to me. How can they just keep playing the same dance animation over and over again?
If I was an animator on this show, I'd be like laughing so fucking hard, just like, alright, and then for this scene, we're gonna put the dance again.
And they're like, yes, I'll be home by the time I should actually get off work today. Yes, thank you so much, Sotsu.
How can anyone working on this anime just look at them putting in the same dance scene again and just say, huh, yeah, this isn't hilarious? I think they're trying to make us get the syndrome and go L5, because each time I see that dance scene, I feel like I lose a bit more sanity.
Imagine being an overworked Japanese animator, and then you could be working on your favorite show and kind of be motivated even though you're being overworked to your bones, but instead you're just working on Sotsu. Isn't that the most depressing shit?
I was working on Sotsu, I'd quit the business and never look back.
Oh, we then also have like a 10-minute scene of Satoko telling Oishi to go to the shrine grounds. For some reason, they stretch it so much. That conversation could have been 2 minutes. It's just one of the things to add to the infinite list of stupid things in Go/Sotsu that make no sense. And then at the end, when Satoko shoots herself, she also snaps. But the snap is supposed to be to go back in time. So why would she snap when she shoots?
Because it's her funny, endearing character trait. She snaps whenever she dies.
They're conveying things visually to be an iconic character trait. I didn't even really like care because I'm just know that like yeah, this is just done for the visuals.
I guess. Speaking of visuals though, I really do appreciate that Oishi no longer has a perpetual cat face. Matter of fact, I haven't seen his cat face since Sotsu started.
I miss it.
Oishi kind of started looking good in Sotsu again, and then he just started looking awful again in the most recent couple episodes.
I want to just quickly mention Teppei again, because since we haven't covered anything in this arc, I feel like we haven't been accompanying his character, but he's been having so many wholesome scenes that I'm just desensitized to his character now. When I think of Teppei,
I agree.
I no longer think of the abusive Teppei. I only think of the wholesome uncle who is solo carrying Sotsu.
Yeah.
His scenes are the only thing that I actually enjoy in Sotsu, aside from the stupid twists that I can laugh at.
I mean, and it is really weird that now we're just looking forward to Teppei in this, and he is unironically one of the best Sotsu characters.
He's the best, what do you mean?
How has wholesome Teppei become normalized? When like we first saw it, we were like, oh my god, they can't be doing this. And now we're just like, oh hell yeah, nice Uncle Man.
More Teppei.
I mean, funny Sotsu aside, it's very disingenuous that, oh man, the really abusive uncle is just a good person now.
Oh yeah. Like it's ironic to me that when the redemption episode came out, we were all just like, oh, way to go, Ryukishi, making this abusive character that totally did not come from a real life story into a redeemable character in a single episode with no reason whatsoever. But now we're just like, this is the best man ever.
I think now actually like I have more of a problem with the fact that it's just like fucking a complete 180 where like it doesn't seem like his bad side is really like trying to return and he's like actually working to be a better person. He's just like, alright, I'm nice now. Like no like real like ugly burst of anger like close to him like starting to hit her something that he actually needs to work through.
Yeah.
It's just like haha, I'm uncle.
Yeah.
Oh my god, so when Eureka and original Higurashi, when Eureka realized it was Takano, that Takano was the culprit, why did she not just simply try and be nice to Takano? And then they would be best friends.
Yay.
The answer was just so obvious. The original Higurashi sucks.
Okay, so what do you guys think is gonna happen in the next arc? Like, do you think there's gonna be season 3 or a movie?
I think there's gonna be, like, at least a movie or something. I don't know, though.
I honestly think it's an ending. It has that feeling of a series coming to an end.
It has the feeling of a series coming to an end, but then this is like Go Sotsu, and I could totally see them stretching this out to where there's like a movie, and they're having to battle against Featherine or something, and the witches, oh.
Okay, the ending of the show has to fucking be that Satoko and Rika make up and Satoko goes, there's the evil Satoko, Lambda Delta, we need to fight her. So then they go to the meta world and have a magic fight with like Rika and Satoko teaming up to fight Lambda. It's gonna happen, trust me.
Yes. And then we're gonna get the movie, and half the movie is gonna be a flashback to Go and Sotsu.
Yeah.
Like the fucking Dragon Ball Z fight that is just going to be a literal part. But the thing is that they're fighting against Lambda, not Satoko.
Ah, yes. Just like the scene in the opening where the main gang is grown up and in urban clothes, and that still hasn't popped up in 11 episodes of anime. Did you think that's ever gonna show up, or do you think that's just a visual thing on the opening?
This is such a fucking procrastinated show.
I'm kind of leaning towards this is never gonna fucking show up. Because when I first saw the opening, I was like, oh cool, Soto is gonna be taking place in the future, and they're gonna solve the matters of the past in the future. But no.
No, it'll show up. It'll just be rushed. It'll be rushed in the last arc or the Sotsu movie. But don't worry, it'll show up. It just won't be satisfying at all.
Well, talking about openings, do you think we're gonna get a new opening / ending after the 12th episode?
I don't know. Maybe, probably. It's an anime thing to do. At this point, I'm kind of hoping for an Umineko Go. Think it'd be pretty funny.
No. I don't. I can take a Higurashi Go. I can take an Umineko Go.
I just gotta thrive in the chaos at this
I'm
point.
just holding out for Higginbana Go.
Higambana Go would be so good. Higambana is the kind of shit that would be perfect for a stupid adaptation like Go. Like, I hate Higambana, but please, a Higambana Go would be so fucking funny.
I don't know, I've been thriving on this chaos, and I'd really love to see the When They Cry fanbase's reaction to an Umineko Go. Like, it would actually cause them to fall apart.
I don't know how I'd feel about that, honestly.
But maybe I'm the witch!
I guess the last thing we have to talk about is the name of the next arc, which is God Entertaining Chapter. It's obviously referring to Featherin, unfortunately.
No, it's referring to us.
Oh, I'm God?
We are entertained.
No, wait!
Oh no.
Takano became a god at the end of Higurashi. No, at the end of Minagoroshi. Maybe do you think Takano is gonna become relevant again?
We're gonna see a Feathering Takano team up.
It would line up since this is like the Takano arc.
Actually, no, yeah, fucking the end of Sotsu, it'll be like the end of Higurashi where they all team up against the villain, but it's just like the entire crew goes to the meta world to fight Featherine, who has teamed up with Takano.
Ah, yes, and everyone's gonna get witch shot
They'll all have blue truth guns.
I just want to see the finale be something to where... Okay, this is gonna be a wild prediction, but considering the great library of books exists in Umineko, it could be possible, which is that every collaboration Higurashi Mei has done with other VNs, all of those characters will come into the meta world and will defeat Featherin with the Higurashi cast, because that's just an Umineko thing to do. So that's my prediction.
I would unironically leave the server if that happened.
Yeah, so I think we have exhausted Tatariakashi. What do you think?
Yeah, there's like I'm impressed we got to an hour, I'm gonna be real honest.
Yeah, it's gonna be like 45 minutes in the final thing.
No, make it longer. Put it in like slow motion.
Yeah, I'm just gonna include like random fluff, like Higurashi did on that Oishi conversation with Satoko.
Oh, we should record some slice of life.
Yes.
Yeah, we need to do some slice of life scenes where we play Sonic Kart.
Okay, then let's do some slice of life scenes right now.
Nipa.
You guys want to play Uno?
Sorry, I don't have Uno.
Yeah, it comes free with your Higurashi Sotsu starter pack. What do you mean, Anon?
I don't have it.
Bro, you have Uno. It comes free.
I don't have Higurashi Sotsu Uno.
You have Sotsuno!
I do not have Sotsu!
You have Uno, you fucking asshole!
There's our slice of life.